The dimension tools can save a lot of time when they are set up to match your workflow. However, they are not infallible. There are times when we may need to manually adjust their location, extensions, or segments to more clearly annotate our design. Once a dimension is created, it can be selected. Where we click on a dimension determines which edit handles we'll see. If we click on the dimension line, we'll get different edit handles than if we clicked on an extension line. We'll start by selecting the dimension line. The first edit handles to note are the ones that appear directly where we clicked on the dimension line. Wherever we click on the dimension line, these edit handles will appear. The square is the move handle. It allows us to move the overall location of the dimension line closer or further away from the objects we're dimensioning. Right beside it is a diamond edit handle. This edit handle is the Add Extension Line handle. Clicking and dragging this diamond to an object will add an extension line to the dimension string locating that new object. The other diamonds we see are the extension line end handles. We can grab these handles and move them to new locations as well. If we take a diamond and unsnap it from an object and not snap it to another object, it will disappear, removing the extension line from the dimension string. At the ends of the dimension string, we find circle edit handles. These are Add Segments handles. If we click and drag these handles, we can extend the dimension string and create new segments that will locate objects just as if we were drawing the dimension originally. It knows to do this by remembering the default used to create the dimension. We can verify this dimension default by opening the dimension line specification and viewing the dimension default that is specified on the dimension panel. The tiny square edit handles on the dimension numbers are Move Dimension Label handles. They allow us to move the dimension text if an area is too crowded. Next to the little square is a triangle handle. This handle is the Rotate Dimension Label handle and, as the name suggests, allows us to rotate the text of the dimension. We'll discuss rotating all dimension labels later in this video. If we click on an extension line, we get Square Extension Resize handles. These can be used to lengthen or shorten the extension line. The extension line we clicked on also has red edit handles. This is to indicate that this extension is our selected extension. We can mark our selected extension as a center line by using the tool for Mark as Center Line on the Edit toolbar. The bottom of the extension line will only move in or out. However, the top of the extension can be offset by dragging left or right. Also notice that if we click on the centerline marker, it has a move handle and can be detached from the extension line. A dimension line can be customized further by utilizing the settings within the dimension line specification dialog. In most cases, changes to dimensions should be done in the dimension defaults. We'll go through a few that we might change on an individual dimension line basis. Before opening the dimension line specification dialog, note that we have a dimension line selected. Each extension is numbered. These numbers are used on the extensions and segments panels in the specification. On the Dimension panel, we can uncheck the Use Default under Dimension Text Position and Orientation in order to specify the angle of all the dimensions text for that line. Uncheck Automatic and specify the desired angle. On the Extensions Markers panel, we can mark an extension as a center line, or if we're in an elevation and we select a vertical dimension, we'll also have an option to draw an elevation marker and add text to the marker as well. On the left of the table, we can see the extension numbers. These correspond with the numbers at the end of the extension lines of our selected dimension. On the Segments panel, we have a similar table, but notice that we have 2 extension numbers per line. This indicates the segment between the 2 extension lines. If we want a segment to disappear, we can choose Blank Segment. This will hide the dimension text, line, and arrows between those 2 extensions. We can use the leading text or trailing text to add text before or after the dimension value. If we put a checkmark in Suppress Dimension Value, the dimension numbers will disappear, leaving only the text. We hope that this video has helped explain how to customize individual dimensions to suit your needs. If you'd like to dive deeper into the subject, please review our built-in help by going to the Help button at the bottom of every dialog. Here you will be able to easily search the reference manual for additional information on dimension line customizations.